Welcome back. It's Gfinity Arena here right now. It's ready to kickstart match 3. It is between Endpoint and Method. Now, there's hugging going on behind me. The reason we're up here with the Method boys is because I've asked the experienced experts, the geniuses in the business, who they reckon are going to win this matchup. And they've both said Method. Gentlemen, why are you choosing Method?
Their team play, you know, is going to be absolutely brilliant. They've been absolutely smashing our LCS. They're a Magnus down, but I still think they're going to win.
Second in the world.
Second in the world. Magnus down, but they've still got it. Alot's looking very confident, arms folded, telling Metsonoris how to speak English as well back here. It's been very entertaining and funny. But right now, we will go to match 3, and I'll pass you over to the commentators, aka casters. Gregan and Onset have done a spiffing job so far. I'm looking forward to match 3.
Thank you, mate. Guy's full of compliments today, isn't he?
Very affectionate today.
He's obviously a morning person. I love it. Well, what a game we have on our hands right now. We have the second best team in the world at this very moment going up against the reigning, defending champions of Season 1, Endpoint. I mean, what are your thoughts on this from the outset? How do you feel this one's going to go?
Method, very strong. Like we were saying, Magnus down, but Sniper is still a very good player, and he's their sub in RLCS, so they do play together a little bit. They're familiar with each other's playstyle, but I think it's just not going to be quite the same speed they have when they're playing in RLCS with Magnus. But against Endpoint, I still think they have the upper hand, as they are 3 very good players. Endpoint, they've got a lot on their shoulders now. They're actually expected to win, where last season they came in, let's have some fun.
It's very, very true. It's the first matchup we've seen as well, where these are 2 practice teams. These are 2 drill teams. We had the entire Season 1 for Endpoint, and obviously Method, you know. We know what those guys can do. You know, they're an incredible squad. A Magnus down, though. Magnus, one of the most clinical players we saw throughout the entirety of Season 1. Sniper's coming in. Can he fill that void for them?
Well, when you've got Metsonoris and a lot around you, he's just got to accept that they're going to be doing a lot of the hard work, especially a lot. He's really stepped up during the RLCS. He scored some incredible goals, ones that you would not even think possible. So if they can find him out upfield doing those, then we'll be seeing a lot of special goals from Method.
Well, it's going to be exciting to see. I've been excited to see this Method squad. They really have grown since that Season 1. We talked about them coming into Season 1. A lot of people were picking them as their favourites then, but now they seem to have gone up another level. We were talking about them, you know, being the best team in the Elite Series. Now they're one of the best teams in the world. What do you credit that to?
Practice. They loved the Elite Series Season 1. They learnt so much from it. And now they're going to be going forward, having played together on stage, online, against some of the best teams in the world in every environment. They're just so familiar with the game Rocket League and with the way they play. So it'll be so good to see them play today. And I think we're going to be getting started as soon as possible. These guys are just going to have a monster game, the first one of the Elite Series.
Well, this is going to be a pretty crazy series so far. Let's have a little bit of talk about what's happened so far, though, in the games we've seen previously. And some things I'm not expecting to see in this. We've seen a couple of leaky defenses in that first game. We've seen a couple of mistakes in that second game. What do you think is going to separate these 2 teams here? Do you think it's going to be very similar? Do you think it could be mistakes or moments of genius? Or do you think it's going to be one of those occasions where one of these teams is just going to blow the other out of the water?
So the reason why Method are one of the best in the world is their rhythm. So we spoke a little bit about rotation and how you get back into net to cover behind your teammates. The reason why Method are so scary, because they just do it that little bit faster. So they get themselves in position a little bit quicker, means they can aggress the ball just that little bit sooner, and it keeps the pressure on, and it grinds down teams and gives them chances to score a net, which is why Method score so many goals. But it does mean that sometimes if that rhythm gets knocked out of sync, and perhaps having Sniper in instead of Magnus
very good point.
might change up the rhythm, then they find themselves open at the back a bit. So they do concede a few more goals than they'd hoped to. So they're very much a high-scoring, high-conceding team when they're playing against strong teams. Endpoint, I'm not going to say that they're a low-scoring team, because they do score goals, but they do have a lot of opportunities to score which they miss out on. So hopefully for them, they'll get that this series here.
Well, what we're going to do before we get this one underway, we're going to throw it over to Ariel because she's got some people in the crowd who might have already been involved today. So over to you, Ariel.
Yes, I've got the players from our first match of the day, Excel and Epsilon. Now, Flark, I'm going to come to you because I asked you to tell me something about Sniper. What did you say?
He's from Norway.
I mean, I wanted more than that, but thanks very much for that information. I like that you guys have stuck around. I always say that Rocket League is like one big happy family. Are you here to support a certain team?
I'm here to support my own team.
Okay, just Excel. But you're here to watch Method and Endpoint. Who do you think is going to win it?
It's going to be hard to say because Magnus is not here with Method, but I think Method is going to win anyway.
Okay, so you're predicting Method win. Do we think we're going to have a 5-match one, a 5 games here, or is it going to go 3-0 to Method?
I think it's going to be 3-1 to Method.
Oh, anyone here think that Endpoint's going to do it? You know, they are former champions here in the Gfinity. Tom does. Tom does. And Onset does. Okay, well, that's our predictions from our players here in the audience. We'll go back to you guys in the casting desk.
Now, the thing is, right, so last time when Endpoint had that shaky start to Season 1, I believed in those guys. And so did you.
I did, yeah.
So did you.
I said they're going to get better.
Another thing to point out, I think you've been involved a little bit with this Endpoint team, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same city as them, so I'll hang out a bit with them and spread my knowledge a little bit.
Well, hold on to that thought because we're about to start the game. It's going to be Endpoint versus Method, the biggest game of the day, in my opinion. Let's get this one underway.
Here we go. On the side of Endpoint, Tinny, Chacaron, and Cheerio.
Going up against Metz's, Sniper, and a lot. The game's underway. Both teams looking to make a statement in this huge game of the Elite Series.
Early pressure from Endpoint, keeping it down in that Method half. And we normally see an early stage of a little bit of shakiness. No one truly trying to push themselves too much. But what Method are known for is just going out as fast as they can, and they get an early shot. A lot bounces it between the crossbar and the ground, and eventually it goes in.
A lot. First goal of the game, as you can see, approaching this one at such speed. Fantastic contact. Chacaron couldn't quite get the save, just the power. Forcing that one over the line is going to be Method, the second team in the world, taking a one goal advantage.
Indeed, and it was actually very tough for Chacaron. He had to avoid a bump as well as the
a lot turns it on.
A lot again. Probably one of the best players in this team now. Certainly was the one we questioned. Metsonoris, Magnus, always the combination. Whereas now, look at him. Goals, goals, goals. A lot is one to watch.
And the one to watch is a good point. This man in the interview before this game said 7-0 in the Elite Series. We ain't dropping a series. And I mean, what a start for them. 2 goals for a lot already. Method, 2 to the good. Endpoint haven't been able to get a foothold in this one.
Just so tough when you see the speed at which players like a lot go towards that ball, and you have to try and read it quickly. They suddenly appear out of nowhere and you don't know what to do. But those 2 goals now will certainly be a good start for Method, but they're not just going to sit on that lead. They're going to look to continue and just keep on scoring. It's very early days.
Sniper couldn't quite get up and cut that one out, and it was Tinny with the shot, but it was blocked by his teammate. So Endpoint don't manage to get on the score sheet. Cheerio being aggressive, and this is something we saw from him towards the latter half of last season. Cheerio being that aggressor. A lot of demos coming out from him. Are you expecting to see the same this season?
It was, yeah, Tinny was liking to be upfield, causing a little bit of havoc, and Cheerio really likes to go for that ball, be a very aggressive player, looking for those shots, just trying to find out Tinny there. Looking to pass again, and Endpoint just not quite fast enough to get it past the Method defense.
Tinny going to be back here, challenged by a lot. Shot comes in here, Cheerio isn't going to go for that one. Metsonoris puts his first one in of the day. It's going to be 3-0 now for Method.
Yeah, Cheerio just finding himself in an awkward position in the net, realizes he can't do anything to that and waits for it to go in. But that is so early on to be conceding your 3rd goal. We're less than a minute and a half in.
Metsonoris, all business as normal. 3 minutes 30 on the clock, 3 goals to the good already. Method. Sniper going to push this one forward. It's going to be Chacaron who's going to push this one away here for Team Endpoint. Trying to follow up, he don't touch him. Metsonoris gets demoed in the process by Chacaron. A lot here, pushing this one out wide to Sniper. Sniper with the shot here, Chacaron. Gonna get this one back upfield, but look at the constant pressure, the stifling pressure coming in from Method. Endpoint just can't get this one away at the moment.
Yeah, because of the speed at which Method move, they often get a lot of boost starves as well, because they're constantly rotating in and out via those corner boosts. And you'll notice quite a lot Endpoint struggling on their own defense with very little boost. You see now Tinny moving up with 0 boost. He's got to try and find something before he can go for that ball.
Metsonoris pushes one back in field. Sniper going to push it towards that Endpoint goal. Cheerio does get the save, but he's just going to fall to Sniper. Easy finish there for Sniper, 4-0 to Method. Sniper with a long distance shot there. Cheerio couldn't get the touch on it, and that just allowed it to fall into the lap of Sniper. And with pinpoint accuracy, he puts that one away.
He does indeed. Sending it towards that backboard causes the goalkeeper to have to make a decision. Does he go for it, or does he try and parry it down to the corner, or does he wait? So many decisions. Cheerio got stuck between going up the wall and flying up, and ended up just missing out on that ball.
Shakuron pushes this one forward. A little bit of pressure finally coming in here for Endpoint. It's going to be Shakuron who's up. Can't quite get the contact he was looking for to send that one towards the Method goal. And look at this, the breakaway comes in, but Tini with a big demo there. Gonna buy his team a little bit of time, and more importantly, keep this pressure on once again. Sniper. Obviously replacing Magnus here on this Method lineup. Tini with the whiff here, and I'm seeing quite a lot of whiffs coming out here from Team Endpoint, something that we didn't really associate with them in that run towards their championship title. Maybe some nerves returning to this main stage.
Oh, that's a great touch. Oh, and he gets the bump on Cheerio.
Oh, that's huge.
Metsonoris just comes flying in, goes to the ball originally, recognizes instead he may as well just take out the defender. And at that point, that ball was destined for the goal.
Cheerio gets sent into orbit while the ball gets sent into the back of the net. Method, 5 to the good now. 1 minute 48 left on the clock. You can see why these boys are the second best team in the world right now.
They just keep getting goal after goal after goal, and that's why they're so dangerous. And what you said about the mistakes from Endpoint, I don't think it's fair to say it's down to them. I think it's down to just the constant speed and pressure at which Method keep putting them into, and it forces them to have to do things quickly, and they're not quite as comfortable working at that speed, and so it forces them to do unforced errors just down to the sheer pressure.
Yeah, pressure does funny things to people. Method, the experts in exposing that flaw in their opponent's gameplay. Cheerio again missing that one, a difficult connection, but it just means that a lot is going to find himself another goal. It's now 6, Gregan.
That's exactly it. Cheerio's touch there was not an easy one, but because of the speed at which it turned around, Method sent it towards their backboard. He had to do something, and it was just so tough for him. And that's when your mechanics are very much stretched. It's when you have to do things you're not comfortable with doing 100% of the time.
Endpoint very much outside of their comfort zone at the moment. The speed with which Method are playing is so impressive. Look at this pass back from a lot, looking for his teammate, but not going to be able to find him. Metz is going to be back here, gets that clearance up. Tini across to Cheerio. Might be an opportunity here, but Cheerio decides to rotate back with his teammate Tini here. Cheerio brings this one down under control, pops it over that player, but look, the pressure again. Metsonoris pushes this one inside, a lot challenging for it. Shakuron should win this one and send it back upfield though for Endpoint. Pops it over one, but the aggressive play coming in from Sniper again, just bumping him off that ball. Just everything is so difficult for Endpoint. You can just see they have no time, they have no opportunity to just play the way they want to play. It's such a disruptive playstyle coming in from Method.
I mean, just there, he had to go for that ball, Tini, because a lot was coming in from another angle. You never get an opportunity to breathe. And even then, Tini had to go for that ball with very little boost, so he wasn't able to adjust at the final moments. It's these kind of things that Method really cause havoc in teams' defense.
Oh, there's another shot coming in. Tini does make a fantastic save, but it's going to be a lot. Who's there on the rebound? 7-0 now. 4 seconds left on the clock. This is a statement from Method.
Phenomenal from Method. They brought in Sniper. People were wondering, will he be able to replace Magnus? And there he is, booming it towards the net in place of his fellow scorer. And now we see 7 goals. I don't know if we saw this many goals scored by any team in Season 1. And if that's just Game 1 of their Elite Series, this is going to be a common occurrence. We're going to see so many goals from Method.
Here we go then. Method are the real deal. Questions about if someone could fill in that Magnus void, but look at that, a lot with 5 goals in that game. Filling those Magnus's boots quite comfortably.
He used to be a very different player. He didn't used to score that much. He used to do those awkward touches that would set his teammates up. But now his mechanics have improved in this Gfinity Elite Series off-season to the point where he is able to do pinpoint, accurate, powerful shots just like that. And he's finding himself on the goal-scoring board as well as his teammate Metsonoris and Sniper, who I think both got a goal themselves. What a performance, though, from Method. Just so strong.
And something to remember, you know, they're not playing against nobodies here. This is Team Endpoint. This is our Season 1 champions. These guys lifted the trophy at the end of last season. Method have just come in and run a train through them in that Game 1. However, of course, this is a best of 5. So they're only 1 down. There's another potential 4 games to be seen in this series. What have Endpoint got to do to get back into this one?
Not letting as many goals.
Score more, concede less.
But it's very tough once you start getting 2 or 3 goals down to start considering, oh, we better be defensive, not let any more goals in. Because if you don't let any more goals in for the rest of the series, you'll probably still lose. So what you've got to start doing then is going a little bit more aggressive and trying to find goals when they're not really there. So they really just need to, from the off, make sure nothing gets through, and then they won't have to do that rushed offense, which they were doing there.
Here we go then. Game number 2 is about to get underway as well. Team Endpoint have just got to brush off that first one as we see the game getting underway on your screens at home. Method 1-0 up in the series, a 7-0 domination in that first game. And look at this pass across from the start. A lot didn't quite manage to connect on it, but again, the pressure early on coming in from Method.
Yeah, we're seeing touches into the middle that cause chances to score, but not just that, it's causing Endpoint to have to do something, use up boosts, use up resources, find themselves out of position, and that's when the gaps start opening up.
Yeah, not only that, Craig, and we see even when Endpoint managed to get a touch to just momentarily clear that ball away, there's always a Method player there just to win that next ball, and they're not winning it in their own half, they're winning it in the midfield. They are constantly pressurizing this Endpoint lineup, and it's just so difficult for them to even get out of their half at the moment.
You don't know when to push up when it's like this, but Metsonoris, even there, he could have just sent that one straight forward, sent it out to the side. We can't gush much more if we tried over this Method team. They're just playing phenomenal Rocket League at an incredible speed. But Endpoint, they will be looking at this game and going, well, it's 0-0. We've got a complete clean sheet. We've just got to try stuff because there's nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah, this is a reset for Endpoint, and here it is. It's going to be Shakeron, exactly the medicine that was required here for Endpoint. Shakeron puts the first goal of the series in for them. Cheerio taking 2 players out of the equation. Metsonoris couldn't get the touch, and Shakeron puts that one back in. A huge confidence booster here for Team Endpoint.
That's huge. Cheerio's touch there, taking a few players out of the game, forcing Metsonoris into an uncomfortable clear, and it was Shakeron who came in and read it the better. And that puts Endpoint ahead, which is huge for them, because now they can be smart. They can play, not defensively, they don't want to turtle up, but they know that they don't need to be as aggressive as they were in that first series, the first game, sorry.
They can more play their own game, and here's Shakeron. Oh my God, Shakeron! Oh, Metsonoris read it well though. Shakeron with that air dribble. Metsonoris takes it over too with a beautiful touch here, looking for the pass inside as well, but Cheerio is going to be back to get that one away. Shakeron now with a solid contact on that one, send it back upfield. We see 2 players already rotating back from Method, but again, the teammates managed to win that ball. Metsonoris sending this one towards the back post. Cheerio's going to have to deal with this one, and does deal with it well, sends it back upfield, but look, Sniper pushing it straight back into that Endpoint half.
And Cheerio is now upfield with no boost, and he's got to rotate back, and his teammates have to play without him for a short period of time. So even those touches onto the backboard that aren't dangerous, they're just breaking down the Endpoint roster a little bit at a time.
Shakeron pushes this one back inside. Test for that second ball as well. Tinny's going to be up. He's going to be up high. He's looking to direct that one towards Shakeron again, but Method here for the first time in the series, really on the back foot. Metsonoris gets the clearance. Cheerio picks it back up, takes one out of the game. He's going to try and follow this one up, but Sniper is going to be there. This is going to drop down into a dangerous area, but Metsonoris, reads it well, and again, sends it back upfield. But one thing I'm seeing here from Endpoint that I'm quite impressed with, they're starting to win a lot more of these 50-50s in that midfield area.
Oh, Cheerio! Squeeze that against the backboard. Yeah, for sure. They are reading the play a little bit better, but also you're noticing Method just aren't moving quite as fast because there's a lot better coverage by Endpoint. They're spreading out a lot more, forming that kind of zonal defense, not leaving any gaps.
Opportunity here, Metsonoris can't quite connect. Cheerio might have a breakaway opportunity here. He's going to have
what a
and
shot.
Cheerio sends it to the side, taking that player out on the line. We're going to see the replay here. Just want to see who was on the line there. Knocks it past. It was actually Sniper who was trying to desperately get back, but he couldn't. Endpoint double up their lead. This is more the series I was expecting to see. 1 minute 53 left on the clock. A 2-goal lead for Endpoint.
I like that. Cheerio demos Sniper far enough away from the goal that by the time he gets to the net with the dribble, Sniper has to watch it go in.
Oh, huge save from Shakeron. Somehow managed to get a touch on that one to push it onto the crossbar, keeping that clean sheet intact for Endpoint. As you say, Endpoint, a team built on solid fundamentals here. They do have the lead. Metsonoris trying to push that one in, but can't quite convert there. Look at this.
Oh, demo on a lot.
Demo, you can see that coming. Cheerio here, going to have an opportunity. It's going to be a 1v2 situation potentially. But no, Metsonoris is going to clear this one away a lot. Trying to get that dribble. Once again, Demo looks like Endpoint. Get a little bit nasty here, Gregan.
Well, with the new update, demos have become a lot easier. You've noticed a lot of players are expecting them now. There's a lot more dodging, especially when you're both going for the same boost. players are tending to jump when they collect the boost to avoid those demos. And I think at Endpoint here are really noticing that when they demo this Method team, it throws their rotation off. And it really opens up gaps and slows down their offense, which is great for Endpoint. Good awareness.
Yeah, I was going to say, adapting on the fly is so difficult to do in game, so massive credit, especially after that first game, to Team Endpoint for realizing they needed to change something up. And not only that, working out what they had to do. Tinny's arriving, can't quite finish that one off. Chacaron, 3 players here from Endpoint committing to that one. Is going to leave the net open, and look at this, a lot steals in from the pass. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, Method bring this one to within 1 goal.
Chacaron, last man back, dives in, thinking that he can get the touch off the wall, but Sniper followed through, drew out 1 player, and had 2 returning players who didn't have an easy chance to stop that ball. And as soon as one of them went for the challenge, it opened up a shot opportunity for Method, and that has put them 1 goal closer. This is 30 seconds left as I touch Onset's hand.
It was really awkward. But anyway, moving on from that, Norris pops this one back to Sniper. Can they get the save? Cheerio with a huge save in the last 20 seconds of this game to keep a 1-goal lead here for Endpoint. But look at this, the ball back inside. No way! Sniper with the finish, ties up the game with 9 seconds left on the clock.
Slides it into the middle. Tinny touches it away into the corner. Norris, rather than going off that backboard, which Chacaron was expecting, sends it sideways at Sniper, who rather than shooting it straight towards the middle, aims for that far corner. Just such precision from both touches there.
Heartbreak for Team Endpoint. They had a 2-goal lead with just 45 seconds left on the clock. Just 6 seconds left now, and we're tied up again at 2-2. Method showing why they are the real deal. Answering back, a shot comes in from a lot, finds the crossbar. Ooh. Oh, that was gonna be a goal, but the buzzer beats Team Method, saving Endpoint. Cheerio with an early demo here in overtime. Next goal wins. What a game we have in our series here.
2-2 the scores, and that's going to be a free shot for a lot. Turned it around in less than a minute as we see Endpoint struggling in the final moments to hold back the powerhouse that is Method. A lot getting the final goal to win that game.
And it is again that man a lot. We talked about Magnus, he's not here a lot, has stepped up massively for this Method team. Endpoint though, that is an absolute heartbreaker for those guys.
And it's a shame as well, because this exact same scenario happened to them only a week ago in the RLRS. They were in Game 5, 3-1 up with less than a minute left, and they gave away 2 goals to send it to overtime and lost there. So they are not having a good time when it comes to those final moments recently. But a great start by Endpoint, starting to look really good.
Yeah, for the first half of this game, they really did take it to Method, and I feel that's how they have to play against a team who's so fast. You can't just wait for your opportunities. You can't play on the back foot. You have to match aggression and speed with aggression and speed. And they did that for the first half of this game, as we saw. But just those last 45 seconds, maybe you start questioning yourself. We have a 2-goal lead. Do we play 2 defensively? But by doing that, you allow Method to do what they do best. And they did exactly that. And they took the lead, sent it to they tied the game up, took it to overtime, and then a lot stepping up again.
Really found their passes in the final moments there. But up to that point, a lot of demos coming out from Endpoint, which opened up a lot of gaps. So perhaps if they bring that same aggression into the next game, I know Tinny likes heading upfield, going for those demos, causing some chaos upfield. And it led to both of their goals, I think. A demo opened up a space. The first one was Cheerio taking out Sniper and then dribbling it towards an empty net because no one was back. So demos are vital in the current meta of the game.
Yeah, they're trying their best to exploit that as well. But now we're moving into game number 3, and it is looking, after that last game, that's got to be a real heartbreaker for Endpoint. You worry about now how their mentality go into this 3rd game. Could potentially be a 3-0 sweep here for Method. Exactly what they're going to be looking for. Exactly what a lot wanted. He wants a 7-0 in the Elite Series, but here we go. Game number 3 is getting underway. Endpoint versus Method. Endpoint need to answer back.
Demo straight away from Cheerio. But yes, as you said, it's going to be very tough now for Endpoint to come back. They have to win 3 games in a row to win the series against one of the best teams in the world, that is Method. It's going to be so tough for them to come back. They showed signs of brilliance in Game 2, but didn't quite clench the end. Now they've got to show signs in 3 games.
Another demo coming in. Looks like Endpoint definitely have a game plan here. Be aggressive, take on Method at their own game. But Sniper's going to come in here. Big block comes in, however. Tinny trying to get that one out of the corner. Relieve the pressure, but the shot comes in. It's going to be Norris, who puts Method into the lead in the first 30 seconds of the game.
Popcorn everywhere. After a lot goes for that ball, fakes out the defense. They think a shot's coming, they back off, and Metsonoris comes in and takes a shot straight away.
And again, just such accuracy on that shot right into that top corner, and it is just a staple of these guys. But look at this, Tinny! Oh, I thought he was going to get the breakaway goal from the kickoff, but fantastic defensive play there from that Method player. Manages to keep that clean sheet intact. A lot now putting the pressure back onto this Endpoint side. Pops that one inside.
No, he went for a
in.
lot. Did you see that? Sniper tried hitting it back up into his teammate. Those are the kind of plays that are the future of Rocket League. You don't see them much now, but when players get better at touching the ball with accuracy, they're going to start hitting each other in the air.
Cheerio now trying to put pressure on this Endpoint team. We see Shaka on. He's going to be up for this one. Looking to hit it back off that backboard, but a lot. Wise to that one. He's going to win the ball, and look at this. Tinny does manage to get back, but that is going to be his boost being stolen as well, so we're going to see pressure potentially coming in here from Endpoint, but Shakaron trying to turn it around here. Endpoint now in a comfortable situation for them. We know they like to lead games, they like to play that sort of play style where they prioritize the defense over their attack, but now they've got to turn it around, and by doing that, a lot is going to have the opportunity to score here. It's going to be, once again, the man on your screen on the score sheet. Method double up their lead.
Just look at the, I don't know why a lot thought to backflip into that, but essentially if he forward flipped, that was going to go wide.
Yep.
So instead he backflips, which maintains the power in the ball, but changes the angle of his car so it shoots it towards the net. How he has that much control over his car in the final moments just by one dodge is just incredible. This man has mastered new mechanics that a lot of players don't even know how to do yet, and that is why he's so beautiful to watch.
A lot has magic fingers. That's one thing we know about this man. Cheerio. And the boys on Endpoint. This is a real wake-up call for them, and look at this. Oh, no, it's going to be another one. No, it's not. Metsonoris can't quite convert here for Method. Somehow Endpoint managed to hang on. Tinny trying to get in the way of this one, but a lot's going to clear it away again. Going to pick up his own ball, sends that one forward. Look at this, Sniper going to be up for it, trying to get that touch. A lot's going to play this one back into the center. Tinny should get the clearance though, but look at this reading from Metsonoris. You can see him rotating around, just judging exactly where that ball is going to be going.
Exactly, he power slide on the spot, 180 degrees, and was able to get that much power on his touch. His Sniper is going to send that towards the net.
Oh, cheerio!
Oh, it's just not enough. Metsonoris just keeping the aggression on. Even after the clear happens, the ball still finds its way to the goal.
3-0 to Method. Met's got a big smile on his face as well. He knows things are going well for this Method lineup. 2-0 up in the series, 3 to the good in this decider as well. 2 minutes on the clock. Our Season 1 champions look like they're going to start with a loss here.
The hardest game of the season to start with. I think everyone is going to be scared of Method this season. And this is why, because they're just so good at hitting the ball. It's that simple, like just there. A lot has flown from miles away, off his backboard, and hits it straight as his teammate. He has the easiest shot of the game so far. Just unbelievable quality.
Look at that smile on his face. He's feeling good right now, Mets. Lovely guy in real life as well. Method 4 to the good. They're going to take home the series, I would believe. Bar a miracle here from Endpoint, you have to say. That game 2, Endpoint, things were looking good for them, but the class just came through. And interesting to see, you know, it's not just the big wins we're seeing from Method. We saw that comeback in game 2 as well, showing that they've got a bit of steel about them as well.
Indeed, and I'm sure Michael, with the cone on his head in the crowd, is feeling heartbroken now, as he said he was supporting Endpoint. But you've just got to notice...
Me too, man. Me too. You know, I'm an Endpoint boy.
You just got to notice here how good this Method team are. No matter what you try and do, they'll find a way of getting that ball back and putting you on the back foot. 2
players here for Endpoint, just desperately trying to make something happen, but a lot's going to have a free shot on goal here. Overcommitment as they need to. It's 5-0 now. Method. They're one of the best in the world for a reason.
Let him breathe. Just give him some space.
Stop! They're already dead.
Endpoint just want a bit of a chance to hit the ball together without being intercepted. Poor guys, I wouldn't want to play against Method. I don't think anyone does.
They're ruthless, man. They're ruthless. They are just not giving any opportunity to Endpoint, even at 5-0 up and a minute 10 left on the clock. Look at the constant pressure still coming in. Ball across. Metsonoris trying to push it back into the middle. Cheerio does manage to bump him away from that one. Tinny going to send it outfield, looking for the double tap off the back.
Oh, Tinny! There we go!
Tinny!
The backboard man.
Showing that Endpoint still have the skills to pull off some big results in the Elite Series. Beautiful double tap off the backboard there to finish that one off.
Look at him, he's smiling, he loves it.
He's feeling good. That's the thing I love about these Endpoint guys. They're down 2-0 in the series, they're down 5-1 in this side, but a massive smile on that guy's face.
Tinny, the positivity man. He just likes having a good goal every now and again. And it was also Cheerio, give credit to Cheerio, was charging at the keeper, not letting him jump up with that ball. And that allowed Tinny to have the space to do that backboard touch. But it is a little bit too late now for Endpoint, as they are going to be losing this game. There is no way a team can come back 4 goals, even though anything can happen in Rocket League. I don't think we're going to see the comeback here.
Ball played into the middle here. I think it's just a case now of Method. Going to wind the clock down. They're quite happy. They're going to try and keep the pressure on that Endpoint half, of course. But 4 goals in 25 seconds, it's a massive arse, and that's only just to send it to overtime. Ball into the middle. A lot's going to... Oh, is he going to finish? No, he's not.
He missed.
But here comes Sniper. Sniper's going to have an opportunity. He misses as well. Very unlike Method here in this last few seconds. You feel like maybe they know the game's in the bag. We've got the buzzer counting this one down. A lot's going to get another one on the board with 5 seconds left. 6-1. Method are the real deal.
This is something I've never actually spoken to you about. Do you know what the Brazil is?
I do, 7-1.
7-1, yeah.
Are we going to see one, Greg? Right now, 5 seconds left on the clock. Are we going to see a Brazil, Gregan? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, we are, Method. Don't make Gregan look stupid.
This is the closest we've ever been. We never see this side, one-sided a game in Rocket League at this high level, but it won't be this
Gregan
occasion.
was wrong.
I was wrong, but Method, what a performance from them, taking the win in remarkable fashion over Endpoint.
Gregan was wrong, but everything about this Method lineup was right today. They did not miss Magnus. Sniper stepping up for the squad. Big win from them. Back to the drawing board for Endpoint, our Season 1 champions. They lose the first series of Season 2, 3-0.
They've just been put up in the ring against the biggest, strongest being in the universe. Well, on Earth at the moment. Stumpy, the giant himself. But Method are just looking so scary. They're the kind of person who, if you saw them in public, you'd go, don't want to play Rocket League against them, because their fingers just do things you could never imagine.
Well, let's have a quick look at the replays from that last game, as well as Method closed that series out 3-0. Just constant, stifling,
How?
almost mean pressure coming in from these Method guys.
I don't know how they do it.
This is the kind of players that you play against on any computer game in the world. And if you come up against them in your early experiences, you don't play that game again. Method putting on a clinic here.
Just every shot they make is powerful and accurate. And it seems that there's more space than you could ever imagine because of the pressure they put on. It's not just their shooting that makes them stand out. It's everything about their gameplay.
Second best team in the world for a reason. Now, where do Endpoint go from here? Obviously, that's a difficult loss, but that second game for me, a real ray of light in the series, showing that they can hang. They just need to take the gameplay we've seen from Method and maybe apply it to their own game a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit more speed. That rhythm from Method was impeccable. And they really need to do that more in the future. And do you know what? We keep saying Method are second best in the world. They lost to another team by 1 goal. There's not much between them. I think we can safely say Method are the best team in the world.
Ooh, big shout from Gregan. Well, let's go and have a chat with the boys from Method. Send it over to Ariel now. She's there with the boys.
No big deal. Just the best team in the world, according to Gregan. Do you agree with that?
No.
You don't? A lot. Tell me why.
Well, I guess PSG has shown more consistency. We've only, well, I guess showing consistency in RLCS is good, but we lost. I remember the score, but we lost. I guess one goal.
Yeah.
And they played better than us. I don't know. We just gotta get better at defense, I guess.
I feel like this is why you guys are winning, because even when you've just won 3-0, you're still seeing that you can do better. Is this why Method are so good?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. How is it for you? Because a lot of people were saying with Magnus not being here, you guys weren't going to be as deadly, but then you kind of proved them all wrong.
I think Magnus still is much more deadly than me, for sure.
Oh, so nice. And a quick question for you, Metza. Do you still have your lucky top knot?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it? Are you allowed to lift the cap? Come on, show us. Show us that top knot. Oh, yeah. There it is. There it is. Well done, guys. Excellent start to the season. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much. And what I love more than anything is seeing a team in high order. More of that for Season 2, please. Thank you. What I love about a lot there is very, very modest, and yet banging in goals left, right, and centre. What was going on there? That's a change of plan. We thought Metsanorius was going to be the goal scorer.
Well, Ariel made a great point actually there, that no matter how well this team do, they always strive to do better. And in that series, they were absolutely merciless. I'm looking at the scores now. It was 7-0, 3-2 in overtime, so that was actually a bit of an outlier in the end, and then 6-1 to end it. That is, according to my maths, that is 16 goals in 3 games, which is an insane amount. And you're right, a lot scored so many. Sniper fitted in really well with that team. Obviously, they will come, I think as the games go on, they'll come up against tougher challenges than that. Other teams will learn how to play them, but they've got Magnus to come back. They're
tougher challenges than that. We're talking about the reigning champions from season 1. But before we talk about Endpoint, let's talk about the fact that with Method, they scored, I think, in 3 games in season 1, 6 goals. But they've broken that with the first one, in the first match there, game 1, 7-0. They are lethal. The other teams watching them will be quaking in their boots if they're wearing boots or trainers or whatever footwear.
Quaking in their wheels.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That'll probably be suspension, just a wobble.
Having your first game in season 2 be 7-0, smashing your own personal previous records, is absolutely incredible. Like, I don't even think... Because we were saying that we don't know where Sniper would fit in. We don't know if he'd take the Magnus role, or if a lot would fit in the Magnus role and Sniper would then go to the a lot role, and Metza would just sort of do his thing and be Metza. Their cohesion always absolutely amazes me throughout Method. No matter who they play, no matter what roster they've got or who they're against, their cohesion is absolutely flawless. And I don't think Endpoint even did badly. I don't think they played badly. I just think Method are that good.
Wow, strong words indeed. We will talk about Endpoint in just a moment. But before that, I'm going to fire over to Gregan, who's with a lot right now, and they're going to have a little post-match analysis of Game 1, that 7-0 thriller. Look how like he's clapping his hands. He loves life.
Thank you very much, Tom. Yes, we've got a lot here, and we're going to be looking a little bit of your gameplay, but I want to talk a little bit more just about how you guys play in general, in particular yourself and how you've improved a lot recently with your ability to score. So first, I want to ask you, how important is it to be going at supersonic, which is the fastest speed you can go in your car?
Well, I guess you just have to, it's boost management, so going fast all the time isn't really good. But it's like, obviously going faster than the opponent is always good. But
yeah, and what that allows you to do, especially with things like aerials, is it allows you to hit the ball that little bit harder because you're going faster. One thing I've noticed with you recently is that when you're flying up, you see there, when you connect with the ball because you're going so fast, you manage to get a lot of accuracy and a lot of power. How do you manage to do that?
I've been air rolling ever since I knew that was a thing. I've been air rolling even when I front flip, I always air roll.
Yeah.
So I've like not mastered it, but I know my car, basically.
Yeah, you know what the orientation of your car is at all times, and we'll get to see it here exactly there. You're just constantly using that air roll to correct where you are, find yourself the quickest route possible, and change the angle of your car when you're hitting the ball, and that gives you that little bit more accuracy. But there's also, when you air roll and hit that ball, it allows you to continue that momentum, right? It takes away the recoil.
Yeah.
I don't know if, hopefully we'll get a chance to see it here. So you're going up the wall, and as you touch this ball, you're air rolling slightly, which means that you stay close to that ball, right?
Yeah.
It's these little finer details that people don't realize that players like a lot, and especially all the Method team do. They keep their momentum through boost and also the air rolling we were talking about. Last thing I wanted to say is your shots recently have been incredible. You're finding the net a lot better. You used to be one of those players who'd touch it into the middle and allow a teammate to score.
Yeah.
Was that something you recognized in yourself, that you wanted to put more goals in?
In my opinion, I've always been bad at shooting. Like my entire career, I've always like ever since I started like knowing how to aerial. I've always gone for passes. I've never actually shot.
Yeah.
So I guess from watching Metza and Magnus, they're so good. Like they're, in my opinion, probably some of the best shooters in the game.
Yeah, we were seeing it all there. You're just getting goal after goal. So thank you very much a lot. You've been incredible to perform on stage as well as you are, and also the little insight you've given us on how you create so many shots and keep that momentum. We would like to go back to Tom now, and hopefully we'll see more of you next week a lot.
For sure.
Guaranteed we'll see more of him, and more of Gregan as well. Not just a pretty face, that's what I like about Gregan. He's got the knowledge as well to back it up. Let me throw over right now to my co-host, the lovely Ariel, who is with Tinny from the losing side Endpoint.
Ah, thanks, Tom. I'd love to call you lovely too, but I'll think of another word later. I'm a Tinny here, who's in our losing team Endpoint. But you were a winning team last season. Well, what's happened? First game, I mean, it was a hard one, wasn't it? Method, I said they were unstoppable. They didn't agree, but I think it's safe to say.
They're too good, honestly. They're just too good. Even with a substitute player like Metza, and a lot are just insane at the game. So we let in a few more goals than we wanted, but honestly, against them, I'm not too disappointed, honestly.
But you came back in the second game, and it was just in that last minute they managed to turn it around. You were ahead 2-0 for a while, and just somewhere when it went into the overtime, they just got it in the last few seconds. But you could have got that second game, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, it proves that we can compete with them. We just need to keep our consistency up. You know, they're in a league of their own at the moment in terms of Rocket League. Like, they're probably one of the top 4 teams in the world. So it's nice to have the practice. Yeah,
it is good to have the practice. It's the first game. It's good to get that one out of the way at the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, they said they're going 7-0, and I don't doubt them for a second. So.
Yeah. But how do we regroup from this? Because, you know, you've had blips before, but you've managed to come back fighting and then win, right?
Yeah, well, this happened in the Elite Series before, and we managed to win the whole thing. So just do exactly what we did before, just try and keep our spirits up. That's the main thing for me.
Exactly. And keep making those pot noodles for dinner. Right, Tom, back to you in the studio.
Very much, Ariel. I'd go with the phrase electric. People always say I'm always on charge. So maybe that could be the way to call me. Maybe we'll get more on that. Listen, we'll get more from Cole and Stumpy because we have got Game 3 on the way. How good is Season 2 shaping up to be already? Now we're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, we've got Match 4, Prophecy versus Envious to bring you. And a look back at the fantastic action we've had so far. We'll see you very soon.